Hello and welcome to Miss Hannah Loves Grammar. In this video we'll be considering what the effect is of using a complex sentence. A complex sentence has two crucial ingredients. It's made of at least one main clause, which makes sense on its own because it contains a subject, an object and a verb. And then the other part of the complex sentence is that it has additional information that's shared, but that additional information does not make sense on its own. And so it's technically called a subordinate clause, because I can't just put a full stop at the end of that additional information for it to be a sentence in its own right. Let me demonstrate with a sentence for you. When she was younger, she looked forward to birthdays. Now, if you focus on the end of the sentence, after the comma, it says, she looked forward to birthdays. Now, this is the main clause because my subject is she, the verb is looked, and the object of the sentence are the birthdays. It's complete, it could be its own simple sentence. However, if we were to skip over the comma at the start of the sentence, when she was younger, well, this is additional information, but we're still keen to work out what about when she was younger, what action happened, what was the actual implication of her being younger. So this is a subordinate clause because it doesn't make sense on its own. Hit pause now and consider what the effect is of using a complex sentence like this. And also feel free to hit in the comments below later on in this video any other additional reasons as to why a complex sentence might exist that maybe I haven't shared in this video. So what are the effects on the reader? As we see with the example, by adding and including details, we're creating atmosphere in the writing. From the example I shared, it suggests that she doesn't enjoy birthdays anymore. There's something quite sad about them. So I'm intrigued. Why is that? It heightens the curiosity of the reader. Additionally, a complex sentence helps build momentum, climax and tension too, because it's highlighting the relationship between the main clause and the subordinate clause, maybe by showing cause and effect. So the fact that when she was younger she looked forward to birthdays sounds like there's a contrast too. And in this specific example, we're shown the power of the time relationship. Over time, that contrast is amplified. The big question I like to ask myself when analysing someone else using a complex sentence is, does the order of whether the subordinate clause comes first or after the main clause contrast to the mood that's created in the main clause? So, for example, with the sentence we started with, when she was younger, we're going back in time. And now we know she doesn't look forward to birthdays. Or it's what's implied anyway. So that subordinate clause coming first sounds much more dramatic. It sort of heightens the sadness around why she doesn't like birthdays now. More than anything, the joy of a complex sentence is that it pushes us further into considering what the purpose of the writer was, whether that's to create an emotional reaction from us or to inform us with more detail. And there's more than one way that can happen. In my first example, I share with you something that seems quite emotive. She looked forward to birthdays when she was younger. It implies she doesn't anymore. But with this next example, the Supreme Court, especially Judge Fernando, resents this time wasting that's happened across this particular case. The subordinate clause, especially Justice Fernando, heightens the sense that we're getting more information from this non-fiction article, that's where I took it from, as to what exactly is going wrong in this particular case. So sometimes a complex sentence is offering an emotional link for us, where we have to consider what the function is of the main clause or the subordinate clause. And in other instances, its pure function is actually to offer information to us, and more detail to keep us incredibly informed about why we should care about whatever it is that's being shared. Undeniably, though, a complex sentence is the hallmark of being incredibly sophisticated in your writing. And to overuse it is to complicate things. To underuse it is sometimes to miss the links between ideas that can really prompt a reader into caring more deeply about the links between your writing and the connections made in their mind. Why not subscribe to Miss Hannah Loves Grammar for all things English, literary and grammatical?